Welcome here, everybody. We're here for the National Lunch and Learn League event sponsored by Annie Mac Home Mortgage. I'm one of the lucky founders of the Annie Mac Worx productivity platform. And we also manage a digital marketing solution for you as a residential real estate agent to make you look head and shoulders above your competition. The MyWorks suite technology is a complete digital marketing solution for you and your agents to manage your listings completely differently. And we're winning the battle against Zillow. We're winning the battle against Realtor.com. And we're able to manifest residential real estate buyer leads through your MyWorks suite account. It's my pleasure, it's my privilege to introduce to you the premise of Annie Mac Worx and really the intention of the entire Annie Mac Nation. And our intention is really encapsulated in a slogan, and that slogan is that our success as mortgage professionals is measured by your success as a real estate agent. And my longtime mentor and role model, Mr. Zig Ziglar, said to me a long time ago, if you want to get what you want out of life, help as many people as you can get what they want out of life. And it's always going to come back to you tenfold. And that pay it forward premise, that give before getting philosophy is what permeates the Annie Mac Nation. So we're very, very proud of the work we're doing with you as a real estate agent through the Annie Mac Worx collaboration. Last month, if you remember, we did a session called VA Works where we really understood the specialization of the veteran community, passionate people showing you what they do in their local markets with veterans. Last month, we introduced our pet-friendly real estate certification, the pet-friendly real estate agent. It's an incredible opportunity, understanding ESA animals, understanding support animals, understanding service animals, and really understanding the law as it relates to landlords and tenants, homeowners associations, condominium associations, and your opportunity to serve the public through that pet-friendly real estate certification. Today's all about open houses. Open House Worx. This is a conversation that some of you are already prejudiced about. You already have a preconceived idea that open houses are very 1970s. You know, that open houses might not be the glorious opportunity that some agents make it. I will tell you that I learned a long time ago, whenever I can get eyeball to eyeball, belly button to belly button with a consumer, it's a fantastic opportunity for myself and whatever brand I represent. I'm going to tell you a story dating back to the early 90s, which definitely shows my age. But I was a big fan of a realtor in Southeast Florida named Dan Flaherty. Dan was a residential real estate agent with my same brand. He was in what was called the Platinum Club, so we knew he made over $250,000 a year. I happen to think he made probably double that annually. I was a big student of his. I watched what he did. I learned from how he placed his signs. I learned everything he did. And one afternoon, I asked him specifically for some advice about my residential real estate career. And Dan, I remember, said, Russ, you just need to do the things that other people aren't willing to do. You personally need to be able to do some of the things, hold yourself accountable to do some of the tasks that the average realtors aren't willing to do. And I said, could you give me an example? And he said, yeah, every Saturday at 10 a.m., I door knock not less than 25 doors in Bayview Country Club. And I invite them to my open house that's going to start at noon. And every Saturday, I hold myself accountable to get up early, hand out a flyer about the subject property, the listing that he's promoting, and to literally shake hands with a neighbor and say, my name's Dan Flaherty with XYZ Real Estate. I'd like to introduce myself, and I'd like to invite you to my open house on 5th Street today. We're hosting an open house there, and as a neighbor here in Bayview Country Club, I'd be honored, I'd be happy if you'd stop by and take a look at that house with us. Maybe you know friends and family, maybe you know somebody at work, or maybe you're just curious about what the market conditions are here in Bayview Country Club, and you can compare and contrast that subject house, that listing, with your own. See, what Dan taught me is that door knocking wasn't just about traffic at his open house. It was about his credibility, his consistency in Bayview Country Club, and he was getting in front of their mindset of who the expert was in Bayview Country Club. He then told me that every Saturday he does an open house from 12 to 3 or 12 to 4, and that he door knocks that neighborhood ahead of time. Well, fast forward a few years later when I finally made it to Platinum Club, and I was involved in more than 100 closings a year as a residential real estate agent. I promise you that I did it about 60 open houses a year for 10 years in a row. And the reason that I did that, and if I entered your market today, if I walked into Keokuk, Iowa, if I walked into Medford, New Jersey, if I walked into Syracuse, New York, I guarantee you I would do not less than 40, probably 60 open houses every year. And the reason that we would do that is not because we believe somehow that we're going to sell the subject house at the open house. That's probably not going to happen 8 times out of 10. But what does happen is you meet families that are seriously committed to buying a house. You meet families that are on the verge of getting ready to list their house for sale. And you meet the local neighbors in your geographic farm area that want to elevate you to guru status. They want to know that you're the expert in that subdivision. And the consistencies of hosting open houses, whether you're going to host a regular open house with a half a dozen signs and a sign-in sheet, whether you're going to host a mega open house, which we're going to explain to you in great detail today with assertive checklists and specific to-dos for your mega open houses, or if you're going to do a brokerage-wide open house extravaganza where you're having 10, 12, 15, 20 open houses on the same day. No matter how you're going to approach the open house opportunity, we're going to dig into the granular detail of that with you today.
Okay, let's do this. Remember to thank the Annie Mac Home Mortgage loan originator or branch manager that's in the office with you today. If you happen to be catching this in an on-demand environment, make sure you remember that Annie Mac Home Mortgage picks up the tab and sponsors our efforts in research and development and broadcasting so that we can share with you how the best and brightest agents in the country are in fact changing open houses in 2018, 19, and beyond. Extra effort is rewarded. You guys have to recognize that this is not a microcosm that we're operating in. This is a macro economic environment where your institutional presence and the collective effort of your brand is actually rising tides, which will in fact rise all ships. So when you think about your role in the open house experience, your extra effort will serve your brand and your institutional presence collectively. Meaningful contact with personal conversations is what comes out of that eyeball to eyeball experience that you can get the only lead generation environment that brings human contact this intimate, I think, is the open houses where the consumers are there seeing you, meeting you, interpreting your charisma, interpreting your credibility and knowledge and expertise. And it's a great way to open up meaningful contact. And I think this day, this next 20 minutes or so, may shine a light on that infamous cliche, the numbers game. It's a great way for you to see the numbers game of residential real estate in action. A good rolling average for a traditional might be 6 visitors. A good rolling average for a mega open house is probably right around 28 visitors, resulting in maybe 3 deep dive wants and needs analyses with a little bit of a pre-qual air to them. When you're cooperating in an open house extravaganza environment, or what some people call a home tour environment where 8, 10, 12, 15 open houses are happening simultaneously on a map, you're probably reasonable to see 80 or 90 families coming through that collective open house effort. And to generate 6 or 8 or 10 deep dive wants and needs analysis with a potential for a pre-qualification conversation and actually showing property to about 6 of those families. What I want to shine a light on is something that I learned early in my career, that a third of all the people who walk into an open house have the intention to sell a house before buying a house. So, if you extrapolate 30% or 33.33% of 118 people, that's a lot of seller prospects that are coming through your open houses. But some of the underperforming real estate agents, set up their open house signs and think they're looking to sell the listing that they're at. Of course, that's a huge bonus. That's the icing on the proverbial cake. But it's not really the crux of the reason that we're doing the open house. The crux to the reason that every real estate agent in America should be thinking about when they do open houses is, first, serve my seller. Second, serve my seller that I'm going to meet 6 months from now. Because when I'm doing an open house in August, I frequently meet a buyer that's going to be buying a house for me in February. That's a hard pill to swallow for a residential real estate agent, but it's the reality of lead harvesting. The other thing is that you have to have a mindset of how can you lay an impression on this consumer that makes an impact, top of mind awareness and relationship building strategy for the third of the people that walk through that open house door that are going to be listing their house in the very, very near future. The real estate industry. I'm not talking about part-timers, retirees that dabble. I'm not talking about the realtor that looks to sell 3 or 4 houses a year. I'm talking about real estate as a career. This is a numbers game, and it's about compounding effort. One Saturday, 4 hours, a mega open house with 28 consumers, where 3 of those consumers have deep dive wants and needs analysis and loan pre-qualification. That's a pretty good day's work, but compound that over 10 Saturdays, and you've got maybe 40 open house hours invested. Maybe you've got 280 people in your pipeline with 30 deep dive analyses. And as I said, as a Platinum Club member at Remax and somebody who was really responsible for raising 3 children and providing for my family, I was not ever shy about spending 160 hours of my personal and professional career banging out those open houses on Saturdays or Sundays. The reason I bring that up is because you never want to get pigeonholed. You never want to get stuck dependent upon one source of business. I see entrepreneurial seizures happening all around the real estate. And I'm going to go farm. I'm going to go network. I'm going to go cold call. And then they burn that midnight oil for a few months and then they give it up. They give it up and they say, I tried that for a while, but I didn't love it. Well, part of a well-balanced business plan, running your real estate business with the kind of structure, direction, and accountability that really represents a business plan. This would be part of a well-balanced business plan. Okay, so I'm going to mine my database on the far left of the screen. That's going to be my sphere of influence. Think about that. The coach from my kids' soccer team, the lady who cuts my hair, the gentleman who owns the restaurant that I frequent, the bar owner or the bartender that's behind the bar talking to people all over my county. And here I am, database mining those consumers for my first 6 deals a year. How about my farm area? I'm going to work that traditional geographic farm area as part of a balanced business plan. And then as I roll through that example of open house buyers and sellers, repeat and referral business, lo and behold, I have 22 closings. Oh my goodness. Wait a minute. I just worked for a year for 6 deals from my database, 4 deals from my farm area, a couple deals from my open house, and a couple deals from my repeat and referral business. And at the end of my calendar year, I ended up with part of a well-balanced business plan. 22 sales closed. I made 160 grand. I had a great year, and that was exciting. But open houses are just part of a more balanced sheet of projections for your source of business chart and actually your business plan. So breaking down the building blocks of the open house extravaganza, the mega open houses, and right now, just a couple of tips on traditional open houses. I'm a student of the residential real estate industry, and part of my job is to get out into the field and see what's going on, seeing these open house events all over the country and understanding how the elite realtors are doing. If you took a minute and you scanned that QR code on the screen, what you'd see is it's a delivery system for data and information to the consumer. The QR code represents a nice way for a consumer to just put their camera, that's all you got to do, focus your camera on that little QR code and see what happens on your iPhone or your Samsung. Most of the newer phones have QR code readers built into the camera now. A lot of people don't know that. So it's not a cumbersome thing. It's a real easy thing. So the first thing I want to talk about is traditional open house signs. You know, you've got to have 6 to 8 signage opportunities centered around an open house as a minimum. If you're going to be a consummate expert in open house uh, labor, you want to make sure your phone number is included. You want to have your website and any branding that makes your sign distinctive, excuse me, in an area where they allow you to put your photo or your logo on the open house sign. You know, a nice thing to do if you don't want to canvas, if you're not going to do a big mega open house, at least invite the block. You know, you can kind of do that in 15 or 20 minutes after you set up your signs. You're already out setting up your signs anyway. Why don't you just knock on maybe 6 or 7 of the people on the right, 6 or 7 of the people on the left of the house, maybe the people across the street, and just say, "Good morning. I want to invite you to my open house today." And then my favorite new process for open houses is this QR code that I just showed you. And I want you to think about it. AnnieMac Home Mortgage is actually helping you create a seller security system for your open houses. What I mean by that is having a seller security system at the point of entry for every open house is a huge advantage to your seller. In fact, I can imagine a guest book registry at your open house and somebody writes in Donald Duck 5551212. You have no way of knowing who that person is or that group is that's walking in to your open house, and your family is exposing their personal property and their floor plan and the types of personal effects and value that's inside of that house to a large group of strangers. Do not gloss over this. Through our QR code technology and the seller security system, all parties must share true and accurate contact information with your seller. And we do that with this amazing system that's tied to your MyWorks Suite account. It's called a QR code. Just imagine that you had a little sign or a little placard at the front door and it says the seller utilizes digital security to ensure the identification and contact info for all customers entering this private residence. You will automatically receive your digital property brochure with important disclosures and detailed property description. Please scan this QR code. Guys, this is a huge upgrade for your sellers, okay? And I want you to take a moment and click on that link, scan that QR code, or pop that smart code into your phone and text it to 54561. So whether you have to text it to secure your access to the residence, whether you have to scan it, which is just as easy as pointing your camera at the QR code, you're creating a security system for that seller. And now your real estate agent and your mortgage professional share that contact information real time with the seller. I'm going to take you over here to the actual single property website that the consumer receives as a direct result of scanning that. Now think about this, guys. You can hand them a piece of paper brochure and you can get yourself hopes that they'll keep it or crumple it up. But when they scan your QR code at the point of entry, they get this gorgeous single property website that has all the details of the property, photographs of the property. They get the gallery of all the pictures of the property so they can talk to their spouse or their mom or their friend about the house. They get a video about the property to show everything about the property. They retain a map of the property, and they have this beautiful request a showing button to reach back out to you as their realtor and request a showing. That's a neat feature. And then last but not least, they get this drop down menu of all the school's information, financing information, able to print a flyer or email that listing to their spouse or significant other, and even a chance to give you property feedback or go to your website as a realtor. If you don't see that as a step up from a piece of paper flyer, I don't know what is, but it also serves the seller. And this is the thing I can't stress enough, having been in real estate for 32 years. Your seller's right eyebrow goes up and says, man, that's a neat system right there. I like that. You know, the security of my property is being taken into consideration by this realtor by requiring that the QR code is scanned, or very minimum, the smart code is entered before the client can enter the open house. The other feature that exists inside of a traditional open house is to hand the consumer a feedback sheet so that that consumer can rate the home in their opinion, the condition of the interior, the condition of the exterior, the location of the home, the floor plan of the home, and ultimately the price. This collecting of data of the opinions of consumers serves you as the real estate agent and allows the seller to see real-time, real-world feedback of his home compared to other homes at the same price range. It also can be the catalyst for warm human contact. What I mean by that is, you ask the consumer straight away, I'm looking to buy. Yes or no? Yeah, I'm looking to buy in the next 2 or 3 months. I'm looking to buy in 9 to 12 months. They'll be honest with you because they don't want you pestering them. So some of them will just check off maybe a year. I'm looking to sell 1 to 3 months. I'm looking to sell my house in 3 to 6 months. This is a vital question that you should be asking every open house attendee. And then two questions that I've become very, very fond of in the residential real estate enterprise is, are you a veteran? They enjoy special discounts and incentives. They enjoy special finance programs. They enjoy no down payment, and the seller can help them with closing costs. And it's just, it's incredible that you have 40 people come through your open house and you never ask any of them if they're a veteran. How about, do you have a family pet? This could be a catalyst for a great, warm, personal conversation. It's funny you asked that. I have 2 pit bulls. Yeah, my wife and I have 11 cats. We have a Doberman Pinscher. No, we don't have any pets. That conversation is just warm because certain homeowners associations have breed restrictions. Certain homeowners associations have weight restrictions, condos, and single family homes. And if it's a landlord tenant opportunity, you've got to consider the pet in the family conversation. So these are great building blocks for a traditional open house. Now we get to a thing that is probably a decade long phenomenon. I'm sure they existed before the crash back in 08, 07, 8, 9, and 10. But after the crash, there's this new world order for open houses. It's called Mega Open Houses. Instead of putting 6 or 8 signs out, you'll see these Mega Open House realtors, they'll put out 20 directional signs that include their phone number, their website, photo, logo, and sign distinction. They're going to canvass the neighborhood for 3 days, 4 days, 5 days before the open house. So imagine the buildup. Wednesday, canvas 40. Thursday, canvas 40. Friday, canvas 40. You've got 160 eyeball to eyeball connections with sellers from that neighborhood that you're steering to your open house extravaganza, your open house, your mega open house environment. And one of the distinctions of a mega open house is social media boosting. Targeted advertising to a distinct audience, whether it be renters nearby or social media boosting to the actual subdivision that you're hosting the open house in. To create awareness and some buzzworthy attention, your company, your personal brand will get some long-term memory and brand recognition if you make a splash and get noticed with your signage. So just using this example, and we didn't even go north up the road, just using this example of some strategies. We going down Lake Forest Drive, and you get to see some signs at University, you see some signs at Lake Forest, and you're going on up the road and taking a left to go to Grove Cove Drive to find that subject property. So 15 to 30 open houses is not unusual for an open house or a mega open house environment. Another small expense that you can use to make a big impression are these mega open house banners or flags. They do feel different. They do make it feel like you're a intentional marketing person, and it's a nice way to stand out from the crowd. You can scan the internet, Bing it if you want to, Google it, find out if there's some evidence out there of mega open house results, and some real estate agents from across Remax, Keller, Caldwell, Century 21, ERA, tons and tons of independently owned and operated real estate brokerages that host mega open houses with some fantastic testimonial and results. If you decide to canvas, which I recommend, you might want to move to a dialer to make a blanket group of calls. You may want to use slide dial or some other voice shot technology that can leave voicemails on thousands of people's cell phones. You can also do the good old-fashioned smile and dial, personal contact around the neighborhood. If you do decide to telemarket, if you decide to slide dial, if you decide to door knock, or you get on a dialer system, a general consensus on the concept of scripting may say, "Good morning, my name is da-da-da, I represent XYZ Real Estate. I just wanted to reach out this morning and tell you that the real estate market is really, really hot right now in Eagle Trace. We've been fielding buyer inquiries for homes just like yours all month, and certainly throughout the last several months. Can I just ask you while I have you on the phone, if the price were right, and I mean the price really sat well with you, would you consider selling this year before the holidays? Is there any chance that you'd consider making a move before Thanksgiving or before the new year?" It's a very, methodical way of asking that question, and it has important pace and cadence elements that you can really get the seller's attention when you say, "Listen, the market's hot here in Eagle Trace, and my company sells a lot of Eagle Trace. We've been getting a lot of inquiries for homes just like yours, and I just want to ask you, as the head of the household, I mean, if the price were really right, and I mean a price that made you feel really happy, would you consider selling and potentially making a move this year?" This Saturday, I'm hosting an open house. It's going to be right around the corner. I'd love to have you stop by and see how aggressive our marketing is. We really want to focus on capitalizing on the highest possible price right now. We're in a great seller's market. This is a perfect time to sell. And I just was curious if you might come as my guest to the open house this week. I think that is different than cold calling. That is humble servant leadership. Always be serving. You're reaching out, you're extending an olive branch to the public at large, and you're letting them know that you're not the average realtor, that you're someone who's committed to this profession. Make sure you jot some notes down if there was anything of merit, and try to make a connection on Facebook. Maybe I go sit at the open house for a couple hours. I write down the guy's name from 4943 120th Ave, and then I say to him, "Hey, I met you at the front door the other day. You said you weren't moving for a while, but I just wanted to make a Facebook connection with you and let you know that I'm here to help you if I can ever be of assistance." That's a personal, warm way to do it. But the essential ingredient of a mega open house is the canvassing. I can't state it any other way than if you're not canvassing before your mega open house, it ain't a mega open house. Okay. It's the canvassing that creates the extra energy. The other thing that might be the best investment in a farm area is to extend a boost to your zip code or even the city name if you're in a smaller town. You can use your single property website from the listing from your MyWorks Suite account to drive them to. Gosh, you don't have to reinvent this wheel. Okay, just place an ad, boost it for $5 to $15 to $20. I met a great lady in Gloucester-Salem, New Jersey, Gloucester-Salem Board of Realty, and her tradition for 5 years in her subdivision is to have just an incredible lunch at every open house that she does. Food is a great way to bring people together at open houses, whether you decide to do a small keg of beer for a football Saturday, a theme, or you decide to do a taco table that's very inexpensive to put together. Maybe you call a food truck and you say, I'm pumping a lot of ads in here. Let's give this a shot one time. You show up at my open house and you keep all the profits. I'll promote the heck out of it. See if we can get 100 people there to buy stuff from your food truck. And then last but not least, and maybe the easiest solution is either cut vegetables or slice and bake cookies or some sort of a dessert item that's more practical to put together in 5 minutes or less. Just at least have something there that makes it seem like it's your trademark. You need to have a trademark of your own that's your baby, like my friend up in Gloucester. I love the feedback questionnaire too. It's really easy. It's really smart. Remember to include 2 questions on your open house feedback sheet. Are you a veteran? Also ask if they have a pet. Have your laptop open at the open house. Have your website open at the open house. If you don't have a national search bar on your laptop, call your AnnieMac loan officer and ask them if they can provide you this incredible technology. The technology is tied to the national database of active MLS listings. So your consumer could say, hey, I'm thinking about buying in, the mid-Atlantic states. I'm thinking about buying in the Carolinas. I'm thinking about moving to Northern California. So you could actually help them search right there on your website. But the bare minimum is pre-search your subdivision or your zip code for inventory so that when that consumer is in the house that you're at, they see on the TV in the living room or they see on the television set on the wall that there's some houses that are up there. All it takes is a simple HDMI cable plugged into the back of a traditional LED or plasma. Plasma's a little old school, Russ, but LED TV, and go ahead and have that up at the open house. The last tip for a mega open house: give them a reason to like or follow you on Facebook. If you have a Facebook business page, this is an incredibly vital tool for you to gain personal contact with the consumer. So a lot of realtors might say something like, hey, we're doing a free drawing for a free inspection. It's up to a $400 value. Did you know that if you follow us on Facebook, we pay for your moving truck? A lot of people do that. We offer a free staging analysis before you list your home. If you just follow us on Facebook, that's about a $600 value. In bright red on the bottom of your page, we pay for your family pet to become a protected emotional support animal so that you can open up wider inventory. But think about offering something of value to have the consumer like you or friend you or follow you on Facebook. And if you have a Facebook business page, using your open house to perpetually fill your contacts and affiliates on that neat social network is a great way for you to build up your followers and get their email address as well. Break down the building blocks of the open house extravaganza. Remember, a traditional open house is when you're alone and you're just going to kind of putter on over and take care of business real quick. Mega open house is when you put some labor intensity to it and really get the numbers up through canvassing, Facebook boosting, and some real strong marketing effort. The open house extravaganza is more about camaraderie with your fellow realtors inside of your brand. Or if you have a team that you put 4 team members out at 4 different open houses. This is more commonly referred to as an open house tour or a home tour. And just those little green dots represent the 11 open houses that this company was hosting that week on in that neighborhood. That's a huge power show. It's like a strutting of the peacock with his feathers out, showing the community that this brokerage, that this brand, and these agents are serious about their community. You really get a chance to institutionalize your brand through these open house tours or these extravaganzas where there's more than 1, 2, 3, 4 open houses in the same day. Having single property website technology embedded into these maps is just insane for keeping it organized and making it feel more professional. But it doesn't matter what brand you're with. Grab 4 or 5 other listing agents in your community and say, look, peg it, man. Let's do this thing. Let's do something that's powerful for all of us. Rising tides rise all ships, and we need to work hard together to make the community at large see that our brand is really serious. The step-by-step instructions for an open house extravaganza or a home tour, it's probably just as simple as these 7 steps. Set the date about 60 days out. You never want to do an open house home tour, uh, you know, 3 days planning. You want to really give it a couple months of promotion. You start promoting it. A good promotion starts about 30 days out. So you're gaining all this name brand recognition, and all your friends and family and your social media and your farm gets to hear about it. You're going to have to select the properties a little later, though. And it's important. You decide on the date. You put your flag in the sand and say, I'm picked this date. We're doing it. But you don't select the properties until about a week out, because you know how the market is. Those listings will sell and flip before you ever get to the open house. Print the maps 4 to 7 days in advance, so you're really pushing out there the locations of those open houses. Publishing an electronic version of a map to social media is so easy. Take a Google map, map the route, take a screenshot of it, and put it all over social media that's your map. You're going to want to partner. Number 6, I can't stress this enough. If you've got 6 open houses this weekend, then all 6 listing agents should be canvassing that week. It should be a company-wide initiative. And then, of course, you're going to need to install just an enormous number of open house signs to really saturate the awareness and the attention of that community to your company's brand. So make sure they're not just the Home Depot red and white open house signs. Make sure they're branded to you guys, and that you install the signs earlier the better. Get the signs out, maybe put the final signs up, but let them know that the open house starts at noon. And I'd put the signs up as early as 8 or 9 in the morning, but make sure that they say noon open house. And then don't put up the final sign in the yard to identify the actual house until that noon window, if you know what I mean. So I'm a big fan of Tom, and I'm a big fan of his dad, Mike. I was at many events with Mike Ferry and Tom Ferry over the years. Obviously, you guys know I'm a student of the residential real estate industry. I found a video on YouTube that's just a couple minutes long that I think ties a bow on the whole attitude that I have and the whole attitude we want to convey about how the best and brightest real estate agents in the country are changing open houses. And I just really thank the Tom Ferry organization, Tom Ferry International, and the mentors that pour their heart into YouTube videos to show you guys what the top tier talent is doing across the country. So I'm going to go ahead and push play on this YouTube video to wrap up this session, and I want you to see what's on YouTube right now about mega open houses from Chris Gonzalez and Tom Ferry.
How many of you remember in 2009, I started talking about this concept of mega open houses? Who has ever done a mega open house? I love you all. So the next person going to talk to us about mega open houses. Let's bring out Chris Gonzalez. Chris, give him a big round of applause.
I'm Chris, mother and son real estate out of South LA County, North Orange County, California. I'm gonna give you guys the blueprint to this mega open house concept, right? So let's get into it. Number one, we have to get as many people as we possibly can into the open houses, right? So the first thing we do is we email our database. We have 2 email systems. We use BombBomb and we use MailChimp. Of course, we love BombBomb because of the video capabilities, right, that you have through email and through text. We love MailChimp because it has a really pretty user interface. It's pretty to look at. You can get super creative with it, so we use that as well. And additionally, if you have 1, 2, or 2 or 3 email blast systems, if they unsubscribe from one, they can't get rid of you, right? So you just keep sending them emails. So have more than 2. Okay, circle dialing. We have to invite people to the open house. We use a power dialer. It's called Mojo. Through Mojo, you're able to generate phone numbers for a particular neighborhood. We commit to calling for 1 hour a day for the week prior to the open house, calling the neighbors, invite them to the open house. We'll use a script like this. We'll say, hi, my name is Chris with Mother and Son Real Estate. We're calling to invite you to our open house this Saturday from 12 to 4 on our listing 123 Banana Street. Who do you know that's looking to move into the area? We'll use a modified version of that script when just following up with our Zillow follow-up clients and general follow-up clients. The whole concept here, guys, is to use your listings as leverage to generate more business. Use it as a conversation piece. We're not hard selling people on something, we're just inviting them somewhere. Think of that concept, okay? Social media, we'll do 2 social media posts prior to the open house on our personal as well as a business page. We use Instagram, we use Facebook. And we'll run an ad for 3 to 5 days prior to the open house for $5 a day. Okay, the one that everybody's afraid of, door knocking. You need to door knock, especially if the house is in a farm that you're trying to get into or you're working that farm. You need to meet the neighbors. You need to identify the homes that are ready to sell, right? Or they're gonna sell in 2 years, and you keep following up with them. That's half the battle right there, is knowing who wants to sell, right? So door knock, guys. Step out of your comfort zones, challenge yourself. I'm totally right now out of my comfort zone, but I love to challenge myself and do that with door knocking, okay? So commit to that, put that in your game plan. For the week prior, we'll do 2 days. Go out for 2 days, not the whole day, maybe a couple hours, hour and a half or something. Just go spark conversations. So now, number 2 on the blueprint, open houses. We're at the open house now, right? We have to build those connections. We have to be likable. The first thing that I do when someone walks through the door is I walk up to them and I greet them. I say, hi, welcome to my open house. My name's Chris. What's your name? Great. Would you do me a quick favor? Can you please fill out the registry right here, and I'll get you all the information you need to know on the property, okay? So right over here. So then I move them to the form, the computer or the iPad. I walk over to the flyers that I have. I do not keep any distractions from the door to the registry. I don't want them wandering around. I need to capture their information right away. Once they do that, I come back and now I'm able to connect with them. I show them the property, okay, this is da-da-da-da-da, right, with the form. So now, with the flyer I mean, so now let's go up to that form. So we use a BombBomb form. We already subscribe to BombBomb. They have the capability to make a form similar to Open Home Pro. So you put it on your computer. All we ask for is their name, email, and phone number. Once they hit submit, they get an immediate video email from us thanking them for coming to our open house, asking them if they want to put an offer on our property, and also asking them if there are any other properties that they're looking at that we can help them with, right? So that's the form. Utilize that if you use BombBomb. It's really good, and it's a part of the package anyway. Okay, so number 3 on the blueprint. Okay, so this is where the money's made, right? It's in the follow-up. Follow up and take copious notes. Take a lot of notes. with the people that you meet at the open house. We saw a huge sign as you walk through here, right? All the money is made in the follow-up, and that's truly the case. You need to have a system in place where you're putting all these people in a system where you can just click on today, and these are all the people I need to follow up with today, right? You want to get through all those phone numbers and have conversations with all those people. And the notes be detailed as possible. How much do they qualify for? What kind of payment are they looking for? I love to ask that question. Family, you know, all that stuff. You guys, you know what to ask. It's really not hard, just conversation, right? Okay, so the 2 resources that we use, I mentioned one of them, BombBomb. Number 2, take notes on this. This is really good. Have an events page on your website, okay? You have the property information, pictures, a form there, but also add this. This has really helped us. Add a chat feature on your site, okay? We use one, it's called Zendesk, Z-E-N desk.com. It tells me when someone's on my website, real time. They're here right now. Okay, so I can automatically start sparking conversation with people. I don't have to wait for them to fill out a form, and then I get the email, and then now I gotta go after them. I start talking right then. Hey, have you seen our property? We're having an open house this Saturday, da-da-da. Type it in there. Start sparking conversation with them right then and there. The more conversations we have, the more appointments we get, the more deals we close, right? We learned, Tom smashes that idea into our brain every time. The secret, guys, it's really not a secret. Follow up, have a system in place, like I said. Click on today, I gotta make these calls. I have all the notes, I have everything I need there for me. So God bless you guys. If you really implement this stuff, you guys will make hundreds of thousands of dollars. Be consistent with it, okay? So that's what I got for you guys. God bless, thank you so much.
Well, I'm a big fan of Tom Ferry's. I'm a big fan of the type of structure and organizational backbone that he creates for residential real estate agents. I'm also a big fan of your brokerage getting the agents to work together, and that concept of open house extravaganza is right up my alley as far as an institutionalized presence for your local marketplace. When you see these events going on and on, you as a seller have to admit this organization is on the cutting edge of residential real estate. So whether you decide on a personal level to put together a 6 sale a year goal, just 6 extra sales a year. Think about this. 6 sales at $200,000 is $1.2 million. You set yourself a $1.2 million written sales production benchmark, and you say, listen, I'm going to sell an extra $1.2 million a year this year from my open house work. And I'm going to do that in a formula called 2 open houses a month, every month, and I'm going to consistently do that over the course of a 12-month window. That's 24 open houses, an average of 6 visitors per open house. You're cooking with gas, baby. You're cooking with gas at that point because you're consistent, you're firing on all cylinders, and you're just biting off that piece of information that says, I've got a written production benchmark of 1.2, and I'm going to host 2 open houses a month to make sure that I source 6 extra sales this year just from my open houses. That is a basic premise of source of business charting and a basic premise of getting ahead of your income projections and really taking control of your personal and professional, or your professional career path. But it also takes control of some lifestyle issues and some quality of life issues. When you can forecast 6 deals a year from your open house plan, or 4 deals a year from your expired listing marketing, or 3 deals a year from your farm area, you begin to have a pride and a sense of personal control and personal responsibility centered around your career path. So, as always, it's our intention to help you get what you want so that we can get what we want. By measuring our success by yours, we're able to really serve the residential real estate community. There is a mortgage professional in the room with you today. They're an Annie Mac home mortgage professional. They've got great rates, great products, and great service. They handle virtually every product that's available in residential real estate lending, and they really want to be your partner. They really want to collaborate with you, not just in these educational forums, but on the digital marketing of your listings to manifest more leads and to really get ahead of the technology sector through My Work Suite. We want to partner with you on specialization within the VA sector. We want to partner with you on our pet-friendly real estate agent. And if you're a grinder and you want to get into some coaching relationships with us, ask your mortgage professional about Farming Fridays. Ask your mortgage professional about the Customer First professional designation. Ask your mortgage professional about Take 10 Listings, the coaching program that digs into how to take more listings. And last but not least, if you want to work together with your mortgage professional to have a tag team relationship to moving the consumer towards a purchasing decision, call on that Andy Mac professional the next time you have a pre-qual, the next time you have a mortgage application, or just a simple mortgage question about how this home purchase will translate into monthly payments, taxes, insurance, PITI, right? All right, so my name is Russ Fitzpatrick. I appreciate the opportunity to get with you, spend some more time with you, and remember, open houses work if you work them. You will produce more money, and we look forward to seeing you at next month's NL2 event. Thanks very much.